right, everybody, so now we are looking at our third and final question. So how does it influence the character's decision? So this really does have to go a lot with what action does it create, because obviously whatever the character decides is the action that character ends up taking. So before I look at mine, let's go peek at yours real quick. So I told you guys, when you're thinking about what action does it create, how does the action it create move the story along? So in this particular case, you have to think about, because Sandy told everyone to get out and he left, what happens next? And then, of course, what is the result of what happens next? So in this one, it's how does it influence the character's decision? So Sandy yelling, everyone get out, and then him, everybody get out, what decision does that have him make? And then, of course, after that, there's a whole slew of consequences that come from that decision. So you can think about it that way. So in my case, how did it influence the character's decisions? Mine's actually the decision. So I can add to it, because obviously he decides to take the road trip. So in this particular case, I get to talk about the fact that because he decides to take this road trip, he turns it into this healing journey. So I'm taking right here, and I'm thinking right here. He turns it into this healing journey, and then it takes longer than he originally thought, because he decides to stop and talk to people and share his story along the way, because that's him getting control of his life. So that's how he decided. That is how it influenced his decision. So once he decided to do this drive, this is how he decided to deal with it. Okay, he wanted to get control of his life, and because he wanted to control, he takes this trip. It's methodical. Honestly, it's like a trip of self-discovery. So this one right here, you have to think about, how did this moment, or what was said, influence, okay, guide him to make the decisions that he makes. So the obvious one is Sandy telling everybody to get out. He decides to leave the building, but what other decisions does he make because of Sandy saying that? So think about that as well. What other decisions does he make that he reflects back on and really says, this is because Sandy, this is because I got out of the building? Okay, so I'm hoping this is helpful. This is our last video installment. These questions are pretty straightforward. And yeah, I hope that you guys find this helpful.